Let's start with the honest answer. Eggs are not your enemy. They're one of the most affordable, versatile foods out there. And for most people over 60, they can absolutely still be part of a healthy plate. What we're actually talking about today is a handful of everyday habits, the kind almost everyone picked up decades ago, that are worth a second look now, since a few of them matter more than most people realize at this stage of life. Some of what's ahead is simply outdated habit, but at least one of these 7 genuinely deserves your full attention. And by the time we reach it, you'll understand exactly why. So let's get into it. A lot of the food rules we grew up with were built for a different body, at a different life stage. Food safety guidance has evolved over the years, partly because researchers who study this age group have observed that immune response and digestion shift somewhat with age, which means the margin for error with a few common foods, including eggs, can narrow a little. That doesn't mean anything is wrong with you. It just means it's worth asking. Is there anything I learned 30 or 40 years ago that could use an update? Let's find out. Mistake number 7. Leaving eggs out on the counter to save time. Maybe you grew up with someone who kept eggs in a bowl on the counter, and nothing ever happened. In cooler climates with very fresh eggs, the risk is often lower than people assume. Even so, current guidance generally recommends refrigerating eggs consistently, since steady cold temperatures slow the growth of bacteria that can sometimes be present. The fix is simple. Keep them in the main body of the fridge, not the door. Mistake number 6. Judging freshness by smell alone. A bad egg does smell bad, but an egg can carry risk long before it smells like anything at all. Relying on your nose worked fine for generations, but it isn't a complete test anymore. A quick float test in a bowl of water, or simply checking the carton date, gives you a clearer answer without the guesswork. Mistake number 5. Reusing the same cutting board or bowl for raw eggs and other food. This isn't about eggs being unusually risky. It's about cross-contamination, which matters a bit more as we get older, since recovery from foodborne illness can take longer at this age. A separate bowl or a quick wash between steps closes that gap almost completely. Mistake number 4. Keeping eggs in the fridge door because that's where the compartment is. It's often pointed out that many refrigerator door trays were designed more as a selling feature than an ideal storage spot. And whether or not that's the original reason, the door is genuinely the warmest, most temperature-unstable part of the fridge. Moving your eggs just a few inches to a shelf can meaningfully extend their safe window. Quick pause here. If a few of these are giving you a "wait, really?" moment, that's the point of this video, and it means it's doing its job. If you're finding this useful, a like or subscribe helps this kind of practical, no-scare tactics content reach more people your age. We haven't forgotten the one we teased at the start. It's still coming, and it tends to surprise even people who've cooked eggs their whole lives. Mistake number 3. Trusting the printed date on the carton as the final word. That date is often a sell-by estimate, not a strict expiration line, though that doesn't mean it's safe to ignore either. This is where the float test becomes genuinely useful. A fresh egg sinks and lies flat, while an older egg starts to stand upright or float, since air builds up inside the shell over time. Combining the date with this simple check gives a far more reliable picture than either one alone. Mistake number 2. Overlooking freshness and handling. How well an egg was handled before it ever reaches the pan, how fresh it was, how it was stored, matters just as much as how long it cooks, and it's the part most people never think about. That said, it's worth being upfront here. For this age group specifically, mainstream food safety guidance still generally favors fully cooked eggs, precisely because of the increased risk we'll get into next. So this isn't a mistake in the sense of stop worrying about doneness. It's that freshness and handling deserve just as much attention as the pan does. If you enjoy dishes with a softer yolk, that's a personal choice worth discussing with your doctor rather than a settled yes or no. And now the one this whole video has been building toward. Handling raw or undercooked eggs, the same way you always have, without factoring in age. This is the one area where the concern is genuinely justified. Salmonella is a real documented risk with eggs, And some research suggests adults over 60 may face a higher chance of more serious complications if they do get sick from it, since immune response can slow somewhat with age. That's not meant to alarm you. It's meant to explain why this habit deserves real attention. The encouraging part, pasteurized eggs, now widely available in most grocery stores, significantly reduce that risk compared to standard raw or lightly cooked eggs. Even in things like homemade dressings, eggnog, or a soft-cooked breakfast, if a dish like that is a favorite, you likely don't have to give it up. Just consider reaching for the pasteurized carton. So here's the short version. Refrigerate consistently. Don't rely on smell alone. Keep raw eggs separate from other food. Move them off the fridge door. Use the float test alongside the date. Give freshness and handling as much attention as doneness. And reach for pasteurized eggs when raw or lightly cooked eggs are on the menu. None of this is dramatic. It's small, quiet upgrades to something you already do well. Your instincts around food, built over decades, aren't wrong. They're just due for a small update. The same way anything else is from time to time. Cook with confidence. Let us know in the comments which of these 7 surprised you most. And subscribe if you'd like more practical, no-scare tactics guidance like this.